outside your state or even country. It just kind of varies, but most of it's, local around you. And it just depends how many users there are. Hey, it's Lance McGowan here. In today's video, I'm going to cover part 5 of the Shapr app video series, where I cover some of the best practices as well as mistakes to avoid on my experiences. So I did all the conversations and messages on my phone, which I'm filming with right now, but I can actually view everything from my laptop, not desktop, which I think I mentioned in other videos. But anyways, so that is what we're going to do. Hello, how's it going? That's cool. Yeah, do what you gotta do. Yeah, that's cool. We'll edit that out. So for those who don't know, Shapr is an app that allows you to have more meaningful relationships with folks online when you're a working professional. So if you're looking for mentorship, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to hire folks, or if you're looking for customers and want to grow your business, Shapr is that way to do so. In my very first video, I gave more of an overview of the company, but I will have the link in the description so you can download the app on your phone and check out more information about it. But without further ado, I'm going to go into the conversation or the case study, here we go, of best practices and maybe mistakes to avoid when conversing with folks online and doing networking. And this is just really supplemental to what I do in person when I go to networking events. But here we go. All right, so this woman that I was conversing with, we matched because we both swiped right. So her name is Galyn. She's from Los Angeles. Some of her hashtags that she used in her profile are health, healthy living, mentorship, entrepreneurship. And her current goals are mentoring others, finding freelance gigs, and getting inspired. So there's, different reasons why people are on the app. And then her description for her profile says social entrepreneurship, entertainment industry. Okay. So when we matched, I sent a message out and I said, hey Galyn, what would your ideal client or business partner look and sound like? And so it's so important to, as a marketer, have an avatar or, the ideal client that you have in mind, from age, gender, parental status, income, what their interests are, buying habits maybe. And then, also maybe what they look like too, and then there's also a realistic kind of viewpoint of that, and then maybe what actually happens too. So, but anyways, I asked that's kind of like maybe more context as to why I asked that, because we really want to focus on the ideal people to connect with. And she she sent an interesting message back. She says, hello, Lance. Great question. Why do you ask? I wasn't expecting that. Most people just answer the question, or a lot of people don't answer at all. And so it is a numbers game with regards to messaging people, and some people don't check their app every day. I mean, I have notifications actually turned off, so I don't get emails. I just have to go into the app to actually check my messages. And so it's a little bit of a discipline to do that. But anyways, I responded back with seeing if there's a good fit or referral opportunity. And then I was being a little cheeky and I said, why do you ask? And then I did the little smiley face emoji thing. And so, yeah, I was just trying to, have fun with it a little bit too, because if people are, asking questions, I like to ask questions back. There we go. She says, got it. Makes sense. And then she says, why do you ask? ... question mark, and then an emoji back. Okay. So apparently it's become a game now, and I'm just kidding. It's cool. I said, great. I was hoping you could tell me that ... So it's cool. We're interacting with one another, and we'll see where it goes here. And yeah. She says, now I'm not even sure what we're talking about ... like lots of dots. She says, let's start again ... She says, would you like to do a call ? Question mark. Okay, so she basically went straight to that. I usually like to ask, what you do first, and maybe if she would have answered the original question, which was, who does your ideal customer or client look and sound like? But it's cool, we're just kind of, avoiding questions here. She said, so I said, that sounds good. What days this week work the best for you? So I like to ask that out just to kind of get that. Like, one of the ways that I schedule phone calls is trying to get the day, once somebody is open to the call, get the day that works best, and then get the time that works best. And then we have to work on what time zone we're in, because 3 o'clock for somebody on the East Coast is not 3 o'clock for somebody on the West Coast. It's noon. So we have to make sure that we are properly timed up, and I have to let people know I'm in Las Vegas. I'm on, Pacific Standard Time. and then figure out where they live too. She's in LA, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just saying in general, that's kind of the process because times can be missed with regards to calls. That's happened in the past because the time zone wasn't clarified. Minor details, but they matter when trying to connect with people. And so she said, great, how about Wednesday mid morning? I said, I live in Las Vegas and I'm on Pacific time, so I just clarifying that. But does noon PST or Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday or Thursday work for you? She said, noon tomorrow, Wednesday works for me too. And then I said, hello, sorry, some work came up with other clients and I just saw this. Does this Friday or next Tuesday work for you? So before our actual meeting time and before we kind of confirmed everything, I did have something that comes up, and that happens every once in a while here, and maybe in the video series it may come up a little bit more often, but I try to communicate that I can't meet a commitment in advance of that particular commitment, and I try to reschedule. And so those are a couple best practices that I try to implement before the actual phone conversation. And the phone conversation, 15 to 20 minutes, is something that I, just let people know on the front end, hey, I just wanted to chat with you to get to know what you do, and if there's a good fit or referral opportunity, could you tell me a little bit more about yourself? And then I leave it kind of open-ended. I do want to know like their work history, maybe a little bit about their family and why they're passionate or why they do what they do. I think that's important. And then I give my story and what I do as well. And then that ideally, if there's a good connection and there's a good fit based on what they're looking for and their needs and goals, then some type of in-person meetup. Well, if they live in a different state, maybe not, but it depends if they're more of a client or if they're a business partner. And so I have to kind of pre-qualify for that. But once I do, then basically an hour or a meetup would make sense, and then some type of class as well after that. And that's the whole building relationships part. It's making sure we are getting to know each other, and if not, then if there's somebody they know that would be a good referral opportunity, would be the next kind of best thing. So she responded back with, hello Lance, I was traveling but now settled in. So she responded back like a few days later, how about this Wednesday? And then I messaged back and said, no problem, this Wednesday is booked for me. Does this Friday or next week work for you? And so once I did that, I didn't hear back from her, and that is pretty much where the conversation ended. So because that happened, I basically think about 3 rules that I live by. One is move towards people that move towards you. There was some good back and forth in the beginning. It was kind of awkward because she never answered my original question, but she kind of threw back some other stuff, so that was kind of fun, but kind of like, all right, what's going on? And then the other thing is if people don't move towards you, then you talk to the next person, which I do. I get matches every day because people are matching based on what they're interested or looking for in a potential, like I said, mentor, business partner, employer, employee, or customer. And then the last rule is some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And so it's so important for me to focus on the some wills and the someone is waiting, because I'm not really interested in the others and I have to keep it moving. And that's what I do. And again, it's about trying to develop more meaningful relationships. And you may be like, dang, Lance, there's people that ghost you or ignore you, or things don't work out, or they don't become a customer or business partner. What's the point? I mean, I'm going here to make some money, Lance, or I'm going here to get something accomplished. And for me, it's so important to realize that this is a realistic view of what happens. Like, not everything always works out. And it's so important to kind of like work through all these types of interactions to find the diamond in the rough, right? And it's not that it's rough, it's just there's a lot of people to talk to, and some work out and some don't. And that's part of, again, why I go through these, to have the right mindset of, hey, it didn't work out. What can I learn from it? And what can I do differently or better in the future, so that I do focus on what Shapr's goal is to develop more meaningful relationships. And it takes time, number one, and we have to have discernment in being able to recognize how people communicate, how we can communicate more effectively as well, and deal with rejection or being ignored more effectively as well. So it's a whole, it's a whole mindset thing, and it does take skill, it does take practice, and it's something that I'm passionate about, because all these conversations, whether they work out or don't, are still personal development exercises for me. It allows me to, again, learn from mistakes made on either end, my end, their end, whether they're, realized or aware or not, and then also implement and continue to do best practices that establish that whole, hey, let's chat on Shapr, let's move it to a phone conversation, 15, 20 minutes, and then let's move it to an in-person meetup or a longer conversation to really assess for those needs, those goals, and that fit. Well, that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click the like button if you did, hit subscribe for future video updates, and most importantly, download the Shapr app today, and the link will be in the description below, so you can start to network with folks, regardless of what you're looking for, with other business professionals, working professionals in your local area or maybe outside of your area, and in some places, outside your state or even country. It just kind of varies, but most of it's local around you, and it just depends how many users there are. But yeah, that link will be in the description below, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Aromatherapy. There we go.